in our service learning experience here at Erie Community College. My name is Jeannie Bryant. This is my co-presenter and one of my, I can't say favorite students, but Alex and I do a lot together. Seeing what we've seen today, we are really in our infancy of our service learning project. So we wanted to share a little bit about how we're starting. Actually, I've been at the college for 7 years, the last 3 years full time, so I'm fairly new as a faculty member. I became interested in service learning actually through Regina Leteri, who is our service learning coordinator here at the college, and I'm probably going to have her come up and say a few things. She volunteered to join us. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that and show you some of the interesting things we're doing. The first thing that really fits, I found this quote from Gandhi. I can't help this one. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Amazing, amazing guy. So what does that mean to us? Does anybody want to kind of elaborate on? Sure.
I think it just means because change is individual, and you can't expect change if you're not approaching that specific problem, or you can't just generalize it to find change. You kind of gotta be more specific and realistic in a way. So it's kind of like, what do they need, not really what we need to do, but what they need us to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of accommodating based on the problems going on in that area, like based on district.
Very good. Anybody else? Anybody else want to comment on?
I don't know so much about losing yourself. I think you find out about yourself when you're doing service for others, because it allows you to put away or makes you aware of your own prejudices that possibly you weren't aware of, and then all of a sudden it's right in your face and you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
We talk about that a lot in our classes. Our public health program is brand new. We actually started our public health program this fall. So these courses are brand new in everything we've done, and perfect place to put service learning because that's what public health is about. Public health is doing a little bit for others and benefiting the whole, kind of making those baby steps and people benefit. So very good points. Actually, even almost better than what Gandhi said. So how do we lose ourselves here in the service of others? To use that word, lose.
Becoming more open-minded instead of closed-minded.
Absolutely.
Finding a common ground between traditional but yet modern, because you got to keep it upbeat with the new generations, but you kind of got to find a balance because you don't want to lose the traditional values, but again, you do want to enhance and eliminate, those problem areas.
No, that's beautifully said, because actually you're bringing all the generations and getting those traditional values. So you're getting values as a key word here. Don't you agree?
I think that we lose our preconceived notions on things.
Absolutely.
Right? Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of things.
Especially cultural or demographic when you're dealing with certain populations. So it's nice. It's a diversity growth.
Okay, so one of our things is adding our service projects to make people aware and to grow. Okay, Alex? Who benefits from the service projects?
Everyone.
Absolutely. First of all, first and foremost, one of our mottos at Erie Community College is students first. So I chose to put the students first. So they benefit, and how do they benefit? By civic engagement. a lot of students, again, they're thinking about going about their everyday lives. Some of them are young. I mean, on the community college level, we have all ages, all kinds. We have for a small place, we have a very diverse environment. A lot of them don't think about civic engagement. Personal and social development. So think of it kind of everything that we've been hearing this morning at the coalition activities we've been at. People are growing and actually developing social skills. We hear that a lot about people Alex's age, that they don't have social skills these days. They don't know how to act in a work environment and things like that. Okay? Application of course theories in a real world setting. So as I said, keep in mind, we're pretty new to this project here. So what I'm teaching in my public health courses, my students are able to go out and practice. And that's a lot of, it's embedded in the syllabus. You have, we reflect on, the students reflect on what they do. Okay. Reflection, what I just said, reflection of learning. So what they've done out there, what they're doing in these projects, and connect to issues of society. So faculty also benefit from these projects. And basically, this is where we can kind of explore our learning, our teaching methods, and react to different learning styles of our students. And I kind of talk about that. And active learning. That's one of the things that is the focus these days. I know I go to my committee meetings, I'm on applied learning at the college, and we talk about active learning. So what more? It's not a textbook. It's not learning out of a textbook. You're taking a real problem, and the students are coming up with ways of solving these problems. And let's face it, our focus is the homeless. I've seen that today, a lot of projects have focused on the homeless. It's a global problem. And we went to the first breakout session, the gentleman from Cornell was talking about, yeah, we want to eliminate this problem, maybe cut it by half. One of the things we talk about in public health is healthy people, the Healthy People initiatives, Healthy People 2010. There's an initiative to cut certain health issues. Again, little steps. And we haven't achieved those goals. So we have to keep going on and doing them. Going back to faculty, boost course enrollment. We have to, if we're gonna teach and we're gonna run our courses, we have to have students enrolled in the courses. And it's a lot easier to teach students who are highly motivated and engaged. And then, if you have a highly motivated student and engaged, they're gonna talk about it. They're gonna tell everybody, oh, we wanna take Jeannie Bryan's courses because they're so cool. We get to do all this stuff. And talk about retention. You know, your students are gonna wanna take, I have students in all my 3 public health courses. As I said, our public health program's new. We've run the intro course that I'm gonna talk about in a few minutes, starting this fall. That's how new we are. And then I have 2 more courses that we just started this spring, and one of them we will talk about this morning. Foster relationships between faculty members and their students and community partners. So this is linking us all, you know, where you're working with, instead of me standing up and talking in class, we're going out and we're feeding the homeless. So it's a lot more, more interactive.
And what are some changes that you've seen, like improvements, I should say, based on this layout? Like, what are the improvements that you've seen?
So far, we've only run the courses once, but the feedback that I'm getting from the students, we've actually been able to have students, I've been working this even in my online classes. I had a student out in Rochester, and she took our project, so I've adapted my project. We're talking about what we did here in Buffalo, but this student was able to take our work and our initiative out to Rochester. She was helping, the homeless out in Rochester, and they were making blankets in addition to what they're doing. So we're starting to see that we can take that, out, put it out online. A lot of times they can't, they say, oh, you're isolated when you're online. But we're able to take this and take it to other communities. So, as I said, you gotta keep in mind, we're brand new on our programs. All right, so who benefits from the service project? Our community partners. And the biggest thing that you've probably seen so far from this morning is a lot of these organizations, a lot of them are funded, some are from grants, a lot of them are underfunded or short-staffed, lacking resources. We have our students coming out and assisting and benefiting and working alongside them. And the biggest thing is now we are increasing public awareness. So we're increasing it. These people, our students, are taking that out there. Oh yes, I worked with Mats for a Mission. Maybe when I take these mats out, I can walk down the hallways of the college and people stop me in the hallway. What is that? What do you got? And you look at this from far and it looks like an elaborate mat. A lot of people can't do this. A lot of people aren't that talented. And you look at it and this is the, you want to hold it up, grocery bags.
Wow, that's amazing.
Not only are we providing a sleeping mat for a homeless individual so they're not sleeping on the ground. We just had a blizzard. So think about that being outside. At least they have something to sleep on, even now, a beautiful day like today. So at the same time, we're taking care of our homeless, but we're also recycling. Think about these bags. A lot of people don't want to take, how many bags do you have at home? Think about that. Right now, I always say to my students, my husband's gonna throw me out of the house pretty soon because I have like 2 rooms full of bags. So even this strap that goes here, think about a homeless individual walking around. They carry everything they have on their person. So they're carrying it, they kind of wrap it up. I didn't bring our blessing bags that we hold. Do you have the purse? No. You don't use the blessing bags. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because the mats were the first thing that impressed me. Okay, go ahead, Alex. Involving youth and young adults, and this is the biggest thing. He's my future. He's our future. So and believe me, you don't know Alex like I do. Alex and I have worked together for a while in my other classes. A lot of good things that he's going to do. Okay. Prepares today's students to be a leader. And we've talked about leaders in all the classes. And well, not classes, but all the workshops that we were in today. And if you think about that, being a leader, one of the gentlemen from Cornell that said in his workshop, he was talking about leader. You think of maybe me as being in charge of this new project. But I love the way he put that. He talked about everybody working together. That's leadership. And that's what you think about. Oh yeah, this person's gonna tell me what to do or how to do it.
It's already working.
But it's everybody working together and figuring out how to do it.
And just to go back to the relationships between student and faculty, you know, when you have these relationships with students, faculty, the community, I was able to bring this project to Jeannie. We just, discussed it over the summer, and then she was able to actually write that into her courses and make this project happen. So it wasn't just me, it wasn't just her, just Regina, it was all of us working together as a whole.
I have a question. What are some elements that you researched or had to take into account when
Coordinating
this program?
these activities.
Like before you even approached her, like what are some things that you had to
Well, I don't think that there's a clear understanding on what the activities were, so I think we kind of need to.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the activities, I was just leading into the activities. So, go back a slide here, the two courses, well, I guess how we started, let me step back a little bit. Alex approached me over the summer about, some of the things that he's involved in. And these are the two courses, as I said, they're brand new, and they were perfect to put his projects in. So he's been working with these two projects, the Mats for a Mission, which you see here, of making these homeless sleeping mats. He's also worked with Friends Feeding Friends, where he would go out with with family and other groups to feed the homeless. So we wanted to bring that into a course, and as I said, so I had to come up with, like I said, a lot of this was really fast done, and we've been through one semester with it. So what we've done in these two courses, this is our initial course, our CW 100, our Intro to Public Health, and our Behavioral and Social Influences on Public Health. So in the CW 100, we set up kiosks on campus. We have 3 campuses at Erie Community College, and we set up kiosks where we advertised on our SUNY Erie, it's kind of,
Webpage.
yeah, thank you,
You're welcome.
webpage, that we can give announcements. So we talked about, we had different events. So we had these kiosks where we had collections. We would collect the grocery bags. Sometimes that's all people could give us, especially at some areas of our campus. So people were able to help us by giving us the bags.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you guys still have a place where you guys take bags? Cause I have a whole
Yeah.
closet full of bags.
Yeah.
I
Yes, we
give to
do.
the food pantry, but
Yeah.
it's that serious.
Yeah, we do collect the bags, but right now, as I start to say, I'm overrun with bags.
Right.
So the next initiative we're doing is we're making the Plarn, which you can see here. You take your grocery bag, and we kind of fold it into 4. We cut off, you can kind of see here, here's the initial grocery bag. I'll bring it up so you guys can see it. So you can hold the other end.
Put it on the table.
Okay.
There we go.
So you can kind of see, we take our grocery bags, fold it into 4. You take your scissors, you cut off the handle, you cut off the bottom. And then we kind of make little strips. And that's, you can see some of the strips here. And then we kind of join them all together. It's like slip knots. And then we have, right here, we have what's called plastic yarn. So that's kind of where we are. That's how we get
That's how
Pretty
they
cool,
make
Lena.
bags.
a grocery bag to a mat. With the Plarn, we have, you have to crochet, and there's lots of directions online, there's videos, because this is a big project. I actually went out and I spoke to my church prayer shawl group, and we actually had a Plarn event at the college on Valentine's Day. I'm having another Plarn event on March 14th. So I bring in students and we cut these. We talk. I provide food for my students. Stuff like that.
Gail.
And then what else was I going to say? So the Plarn. You can see here, if you want to take a closer look, you can kind of see it's all rolled up into balls, like you roll a ball of yarn. And then pea-sized crochet hooks, so it's a larger crochet hook, and then you'll make your mat. Okay, so that's what we're kind of doing now. So we got tons of bags. Right now, my next step. So what we're doing here is we started the intro course, and then we collect the bags. I started doing the Plarn events, and then the other thing we do is we collect personal care items. So, which we call blessing bags. So you can kind of see, and they're kind of customized by gender. So male and female. This one looks like it's pretty generic. It looks like it might be the male. The female one, of course, has personal care products like sanitary items. Imagine being out on the street with that,
Right.
with our monthly thing. So that's the other thing we did. And we call them toiletries. So they're travel size. So we would have our kiosks. We had a box that we collected the bags. And then I had another plastic tote that we will collect the personal care items. And at the end of last semester, I always call out for volunteers. So we put it on our SUNY Erie today to make the college aware of it, because it goes out to the campuses. And then in all my classes, I asked my students, I need volunteers. And Alex's group of students, our clinical laboratory students who are not even involved in that, have been coming forward. We met at the end of last semester and they made these blessing bags. So Alex, if you want to talk a second about how many we did and.
So we did a total of 166 blessing bags in just our first semester. And the idea behind that was, we need to kind of get these products out there, but, homeless people, maybe they'll carry a backpack over their shoulder, they don't really have a lot of room to carry things. And the other thing with it was, this all started with a tote in my living room full of products before we really got it going in our school. So I'm like, I need the space for it, I need the portability for them, and then how do I be cost effective at the same time so I can maximize the amount of people we serve? And the answer to that basically lied in these blessing bags. So the travel size items fit perfectly in the little gallon Ziploc bags. So that takes care of the portability issue. And then the other issue is, cost. How do we be cost effective? How do we serve the maximum amount of people we can? And the answer lied in, the travel size things and actually the Dollar Tree and things like that. I actually was there and I found, the packs of tissues, 3 in a pack for $1, wet wipes, 3 in a pack for $1. So you find a lot of these items that are in these packs that you can get in multiple packs themselves, and that's how you can then maximize how many people you serve, get the students involved. And then a lot of the other way we got things were through the student donations and the kiosks, as she mentioned.
Okay, and here's just some pictures that we have, so you can see here the roll of Plarns, so that looks like a Wegmans bag. And the crochet hook is pretty large. Whoops. It's interactive here.
Oh, that's my car.
Whose vehicle,
That's
right?
my car.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this is actually Alex. That's Alex's mom, who's very involved in a lot of our projects. So you can see here, so some of the blessing bags that we made, they're getting ready to go out and distribute them. So you want to move on to the next one. And then here's our other course. I'm not going to get too much into it. We actually have a homeless feeding day. Fireman's Park is in downtown Buffalo, which is actually right near our city campus. So right now, on March 30th, it's a Saturday, we're gonna go out together. I'm trying to get, that's the other thing, I'm trying to link our campuses, because it's like, we're at the North Campus in Williamsville, we have one out in Orchard Park, and we have our city campus, so I'm trying to bring our campuses together. So I've been advertising that. So we did not actually go out. The beauty of this project.
We did actually go out last semester,
Yes,
so.
well, you guys did, I
Right,
did not.
but it was all part of the collaboration on
Correct.
campus with different courses, because as a coordinator, I brought the project to our social science
Yeah.
and one of our human family, what was it? I forgot the name of the course. Yeah, but so I brought it to social science and then to SGA. So we actually did a a feeding in the park last semester as well. In our culinary program, they donated the food for the feeding. And then we had students from the courses as well as student government students go out into the park and actually do the feeding. And then some of our students, they actually made the blessing bags as well.
Now,
Yeah.
for this event, are you having people from public? Because I work with AmeriCorps Vista and with the Health Institute, with Phil Abestro. I can't say his last name for the life of me. But I do want to get involved more and be with the community. So if after this, if you can give me information so I can volunteer, if you guys are willing.
We would love to, we would love to have you.
I would volunteer for sure.
As I said, we're very new to all of this, that's why we wanted to share and actually come here and network. We would definitely, we'd love to have more partners.
Right, and Friends Feeding Friends, so they're out in the park 3 days a week. So they feed on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. You could probably work directly with them.
Okay.
Yeah, and on the back of your handouts too, there's contact information for both Matt's Permission and Friends Feeding Friends to either get in contact with them directly,
Awesome.
or I have my
Here's
email
business card.
and Jeannie's email up on the board, and then she also has her card with her information.
So the meals for Friends Feeding Friends,
Just questions.
sorry,
Okay.
do you want to
Okay,
explain
and
the
ask your
meals?
question, and yeah, we'll,
Yeah.
go ahead and ask.
I might be jumping ahead, and I know the program is new, but do you find that the average student entering these intro classes is making that meaningful public health connection, or through these service learning projects, or are they kind of like, that was cool and unique, but like, where do I go with it?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of good feedback on it, and I know that the students, some of them have continued on. As I said, the intro course, I have some of the students that have returned for these other new courses, the behavioral course, and then I do a global course. The global course, we have not integrated the service learning. I think they're starting to make the connections, but as you said, we are pretty new. So we're still gathering, we got more data to gather, so.
Yeah, but you're able to do the tie-in, right, with the
Oh,
course
yes.
curriculum and then with
Yes.
the activities?
Yes.
Right.
The beauty of it is the course, we started one, we continue it and we build on what we started in the other course, so.
And my question is, how do you find who's homeless? Like, how do you put them on a scale? Like, how is that calculated?
Well, that's
Is my
what,
question.
actually what I think I can answer in the next portion of this presentation too.
Better hurry up.
We have
So,
one more question too, Alex, if you wanna, take it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, okay, this are great initiatives, the program is new, but somewhere in the program, do you guys like tackle the actual issues of homeless? And is there like a starting point of the program, trying to get people off the streets? Or maybe trying to tackle, why is this person
Work with the
homeless?
Homeless Alliance.
How can we help them get him back to, being a functional citizen? Or you just,
Like support services?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
right.
what's your sole focus?
Right now, like I said, we're tackling the problem of understanding and getting the awareness for the homeless individuals. And right now, I guess, as I said, we're new in the program, we're still gathering community partners. We have these two that we've partnered with, and we're definitely looking for more partners, but we've done, pretty much we're I wanna say we're making an impact, but right now, by doing this stuff, we can help people get off the street, but I don't have statistics on that yet.
Well, cause we're helping with the feeding piece, so.
Right, so we're providing their needs and we're feeding, that's the area we are.
that's my concern, like, if they get comfortable enough to being, homeless, like, is there a step where, like, okay, cause you might build with, on a personal level, like, this is the, what can we work with you, like, how can we get you back, to work, how can we help you to get you an individual apartment, instead of just, handing you a bag, and there, you're good for the day. Cause
Yeah.
there's other programs that do
No,
the
you have a
same
good
thing.
point, very good.
Yeah, I'm gonna address some of that in this next part,
Okay.
real quick, because we're running out of time here, but, I kinda like to pose the question, what is the typical view of a homeless individual? there are a lot of stereotypes, you know, some people, well, they're all drug addicts, you know, they wanna be homeless, they're lazy, and that's not true. Now and I got some pictures here, and usually when I ask that question, and when I was younger, before I really became aware, this is what I thought of. I thought, you know, oh, they're gonna pop right out at me, you know, there's gonna be that guy holding the cardboard sign. There's going to be that person on the street corner, you know, kind of panhandling, begging for money. And this could not really be more untrue. So who are Buffalo's homeless then? You can go back one. On the keypad. So this was an actual picture we took from our event on December 22nd, just this past December. And to kind of answer your question, we partnered with Max for a Mission yet again, and the Homeless Alliance of Western New York kind of jumped in here. And what they did here, they provided them with clothing and food and things like that. But at this event, they were also filling out intake forms with all their information to help get them off the street. Will Marcy goes out there during the cold blues. He finds these people, he works with them, helps them get to housing. So again, emphasis on our community partners. You know, we're kind of alleviating some of these things with the mats and the bags until they're able to really get off the streets. And then they help them finally get off the streets with the Homeless Alliance, help them get with work and all kinds of things like that. And then again, you know, this kind of disproves the stereotype of the guy holding the sign. You know, you see women, you see men.
Youth.
Mm-hmm. And
There's
this
a
next
family.
picture, this is what really got to me at this event. You know, I've seen men, I've seen homeless women, you know, and especially being 20 years old now, I used to do this, you know, I used to be that bratty kid. You know, my parents said, you know what, let's show you how life really is. We're gonna take you out to volunteer here, there. And you know, at 12 years old, things like that, you know, it impacts you, but you know, you kind of forget about it. And at 20 years old, when you're going out there, you know, and even for me, for the student body, when you actually see this at your age now, it tends to stick with you more and make an impact. And you realize that, you know, there are homeless families, you know, a mother, a father, and a child in the middle. You know, it's not just, you know, what you typically conceive, you know, and people, oh, they're drug addicts. Well, here's a statistic for you, which I'll get into, you know, just a couple quick ones. 6% of all homeless people, or the reason for why they're homeless, only 6% is because of drugs.
Wow, that's.
And then this is the feeding. You can just see how many people are really out there. 552,830.
So out of that, 6% is because of drugs only?
Only 6%. There are other issues: loss of jobs, domestic violence, people getting evicted, kicked out of their homes. You know, medical reasons,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, mental health.
Mental health, veterans with PTSD. So really, only 6% of that is drugs.
Yeah, like going off what you said, mine's is the exact opposite. My mom had 8 kids, my dad was a heroin addict, and we lived in a 1-bedroom house. So
Right.
like the living room was a bedroom for us, and we
Yeah.
had curtains to separate. So it wasn't even, you know, I mean, you can't really blame the drugs per se, but it was more like, you know, budgeting and, you know,
Situational,
yeah,
right.
in certain situations, and how many kids, you know, because 8 was kind of excessive, but then you gotta, it'll be different for someone who had half, who had 4, or,
Yep.
you know, so on and so forth.
I did 5.
You're done.
And it was hard.
So,
Alex.
Alex,
Imagine, so.
you direct that.
So this number is huge. It's the number of homeless people experiencing homelessness on a single night in January 2018, according to the Housing and Urban Development. 3,151. The increase in overall homelessness in New York State from 2016 to 2017, and this keeps going up from 2017 to 2018, 2019, 2020. The numbers are only going to get bigger. And then 5,800. That's the number of homeless individuals in Erie County alone, according to the Homeless Alliance History. That's not Western New York, folks, that is just Erie County. And then I can pull this up real quick, when we're done, if anybody wishes to see it, a better version. But this right here, the darker blue is the more prevalent issues. That's Buffalo right there.
Oh my gosh, with the darkest.
Yeah.
We are the darkest, Buffalo,
It's
Chickamauga,
terrible.
surrounding areas.
See, because I was thinking that we were being improved because on the surface it looks great, but I mean, behind the scenes it's totally different.
If anybody's interested in getting a copy of the
Yeah, I can
entire
send it.
presentation, we can email it out to you so you can see the statistics and stuff.
I'm gonna write my email
Yeah.
address for you.
It's such a short window for the presentation, don't really get to go through it all.
Well, we're the newest, so we just, but thank you everyone.
Yeah, and Alex, like Friends Feeding Friends, like their food that they distribute, they do it 3 days a week, but it's all donated.
Partner with you if you.
It's 100% donated, so they don't have any money. So people are like donating from their kitchens.